You guys remember Seattle's CHOP? Stick by and watch this for an update. Hey everybody, welcome back to Guns and Gadgets, your premier source for Second Amendment news. Before we get started today, I wanted to thank our sponsor for today. It's Blackout Coffee. Weather's getting cold. I, this week, have made my switch. As a New Englander, you'll know what I'm talking about. I've made my switch from iced coffee to hot coffee this week, which is a bad time of year. It's very sad. But if you could check them out, I'd appreciate it. They're having their fall spooktacular sale, and you can save 20% off everything in the store, to include the Guns and Gadgets items, the 1776 and 2A coffee, as well as my shirts, and they have 2A patches as well. Use code BOO2020, and I'll have a link down below. It's blackoutcoffee.com/GNG. Thank you guys. Appreciate it. Let's see if you can remember back to June 8th, 2020. That's when Seattle, the Seattle Police Department vacated their East Precinct in an attempt to diffuse tensions between the social justice warriors and the racial justice protesters, the peaceful protesters, right? The mob and, you know, the riots that were going on in Seattle, and they did for many nights. But the PD left the East Precinct in an attempt to de-escalate and diffuse stuff, you know, like to shoot him in the leg style like Joe Biden wants, which led to the protesters seizing that area. They called it the Capitol Hill Organized Protest. It was known as the CHOP for a while, and that was probably the video that myself and Mr. Guns and Gear got the most heat on because of, you know, the whole emotion that was tied into this situation. So this group, they seized that land. They said that they were no longer under rule of the United States law and that it was their own country, which would make them terrorists. As we moved along, they changed their name from CHOP to CHAZ. Then it was the Capitol Hill Autonomous Zone, and it was an area that basically had two different lifestyles. There was during the day when it was like a hippie fest, and then it was at night when a lot of organized crime was taking place. Don't forget, there were 2 people who were shot and killed there. There were 4 others that were shot and injured, as well as numerous rapes and robberies that were reported, and also that the police pulled out for that area, from that area for a month. Now, with that history set and refreshed in your mind, Friday, a federal judge allowed a lawsuit to continue against the city of Seattle that they were trying desperately to have dismissed. 21 businesses have sued the city of Seattle for 4 violations that came as a direct result of Seattle helping this protest, this autonomous zone to exist. Now, you'll remember that the occupied zone, they set up barriers, they blocked cars, they, at the beginning, were checking IDs for people coming and going, and this all reduced the local businesses' access to customers. It also affected their access to vendors and revenue. The lawsuit also alleges that the Seattle Police Department largely neglected the area, allowing protesters and others to damage their buildings, business property, and even to threaten business owners without punishment. This lawsuit also states that the city of Seattle provided the protesters with items such as concrete barriers, medical supplies, washing and sanitation facilities, portable toilets, lighting, and other material support to include the Cal Anderson Park to the CHOP protesters, occupiers. The lawsuit also claims that the city of Seattle instructed the Seattle Police Department to adopt a no-response policy where officers wouldn't even respond unless somebody called 911 and reported, quote, significant life safety issues, end quote. Now, this was before Judge Thomas S. Zille of the U.S. District Court for the Western District of Washington on Friday. And like I said, Seattle was trying everything they could to have this dismissed because, you know, they don't want the world to know that they've helped fund a terrorist overtaking or some type of commune to take over parts of their city, which were no longer allowed to operate freely. Now, in the judge's decision, he wrote this, quote, plaintiffs plausibly allege that the city's actions, encouraging CHOP participants to wall off the area and agreeing to a no-response zone within and near CHOP's borders, foreseeably placed plaintiffs in a worse position, meaning that the city of Seattle's actions in assisting this takeover affected local businesses, you know, those people who abiding by the law and wanted their constitutional rights. Now, like I said, there were 4 articles that these 21 business owners were suing Seattle on, and the judge did dismiss one of them. The judge dismissed the plaintiff's claim that the city violated their constitutional rights to equal protection by treating them differently from the other city residents or the CHOP occupiers, but he did allow the other 3 legal claims to proceed. Well, you might ask, what are the other 3 legal claims? I got you covered. The other claims allege that 1, by allowing CHOP to operate for a month before police eventually shut it down, the city unlawfully took their private property for public use with no compensation. It also restricted their ability to fully use their property to conduct business, and they also failed to protect the businesses from a danger of the city's own making. Now, I also believe that the city of Seattle should be held accountable for the 2 deaths that occurred, as well as the multiple injuries, the reported rapes and assaults and batteries and larcenies and all that stuff. The city of Seattle should be held accountable and responsible for all that because they helped this situation, A, take place, B, to continue, and C, as a result, they had a direct vested interest in everything that happened there. So maybe the Communist Party that runs Seattle should have to answer for all that as well. Let me know what you think about this down below. If you're interested in news on the Second Amendment and freedom in general, then this is the place you should be. Please consider subscribing to Guns and Gadgets. I put out videos daily, sometimes multiple times a day, depending on what's going on out there. And I would love to have you join this growing freedom family. Also, if you've made it this far in the video, I got a little surprise for you. I have the Guns and Gadgets patches, the morale patches. They are in, thank you to gun websites and everybody that participated in the 2A patch batch this year. If you've made it this far in the video, here's a little surprise for you. I will pick the first 5 people in the comments below, and I'm going right by the YouTube timestamps, so we can't have any arguing about it. But the first 5 people that leave the comment down below, I want a patch, the first 5 people, I will reach out to you and I will get you one of these patches. Limited item, guys. Only people that have them are me. So if you want one, leave that message down below. And please thumbs up the video, share it with all of your friends, post it on all of your boards where you go watch and read news on guns and stuff like that. And until we see each other again, be safe, stay vigilant, carry a weapon, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care, everybody.